when I was a little, I used to think that, is this all that I have to do in life? Keep making music, just keep making albums, one after the other. Oh, so this did well, this didn't do well. And let me just tell you, showbiz is a very, like they say, there's no biz like showbiz. Why do they say that? It's because there are no fixed patterns for showbiz. The guy on the top, the number one guy, is the guy. He's making everything. The difference between number one and number two is this much. The difference between number two and number three is only this much. And the number four, and the number five, and the number six. So all the laurels are only going to the number one guy. So everybody is trying to get the number one guy off his seat. And after a while, those pressures get on you. And they keep coming at you. And you're like trying to be there, and obviously it gives you the impetus to do well. You're trying to do your best. You're trying to be the best, and you're working very hard. But it's because it's an unnatural life. After a while, you feel the stress. So I had this friend, and I went to him and I said, listen, I'm just not too well. I'm very stressed for the last 16, 17 years. This has been just going on. I have a lot of wealth. I have a lot of name. One of my songs, that was a national song. It was, at the end of the millennium, the BBC did a worldwide, there was a worldwide contest. And in that contest, one of my songs was rated as the third most popular song of the last century. Obviously I couldn't believe it. I was quite humbled because in the list they had some of the Beatles songs. But the thing was, mine was the only song, but there were 50 Beatles songs which were popular. Obviously, and they should have been, because they were huge artists. So someone from the BBC called me up and they said, so how do you feel about this, that your song is being named as the third most popular song? And so I said, what did the guy who sang the number one song say to you? He says, he's not alive. I said, what about the number two guy? He says, he's not alive either. By the way, out of the 10, you're the only one alive. I said, well, okay. That's some consolation. So I said, I feel great. Thank you very much. But at that time, I was going through a lot of turmoil in me, and I really wanted to find the truth. Where is the truth? What do I need to do? Why am I here in this world? That was the question I started asking. I had friends from all over the world, a lot of Jewish friends, a lot of Sikh friends, a lot of Hindu friends from different religions, different backgrounds. And I used to speak to them. Why do you think I'm here? Why do you think you are here? Oh, we're just going to make music, feel good about it. And I said, then just die? He says, well, what else? I said, no, this is not working for me. I'm not happy. I don't think I'm just being created to just keep making music, and then just perish one day. I don't think I've been created for that. So I went to this friend of mine and I said, I need to speak to somebody who can just probably guide me how to go about my life. So he took me to the scholar who was actually, to this day, is one of my mentors. And his name is Sheikh Tariq Jamil. That's his name. So he took me to that gentleman. And as I was sitting in front of him, I put forth this very question in front of him. And I said, what is it? Why am I here? And why is it that even though I have every worldly goods with me, I've been given I'm a popular guy, I'm very famous, I have wealth, I have money, I have home, cars, everything that a man of my age cannot even dream of. Why am I so stressed? Why am I such a dissatisfied man? So he says, your problem is that you have been bruised on your right knee and you're applying the ointment on your left one. I said, excuse me? He says, yes, that's your problem. You have been bruised on your right knee and you're applying the ointment on your left one. I said, please explain. He So this is the explanation he gave. It made a lot of sense to me then. He says the thing is that the Creator has created humans from two things. One is the body, which is made up of clay, and other is the soul inside. We in English call it the soul. In every other language of the world, it's called ruh. हम क्या कहते हैं उसको? Ruh. Ruh. The Quran also calls it ruh. In English language, we call it the spirit or the soul. So humans are created from these two things. Now, the body, because it is made up of clay, every requirement of the body is in the clay. The food that we eat, the water that we drink, the clothes that we wear, the houses that we live in, the cars that we drive, everything. So the sofas, the chairs, the buildings, the iPhones, right? The Wi-Fi device, everything. Because the body needs it. The body is made up of clay. They are also extracted from the earth. He said, soul or the ruh or the spirit has come from the heavens. So the food of the ruh and the spirit or the soul is also from the heavens. It's not from here. So then he said, what if I prison you in a palace of gold for 3 days, 4 days, without giving you any food and water? What will you do? I said, I'll scream. Give me some water to drink. Give me some food to eat. He says, that is exactly what your spirit screams of inside your body. Your spirit screams for its food. I need my food. Give me my food. And the brain hears those screams. And the brain goes distressed and distort. And then you take pills to slow it down. Then you take drugs to sleep it. There's nothing wrong with the brain. It's the screams of the soul and the spirit that becomes so distressful for the mind that you have to make it go to sleep or distract yourself. So I said, then what is the food of the ruh, of the spirit? He says, because it has come from the heavens, its food is from the heavens. The food of the ruh is the word of the Lord, which has come from the heavens. The food of the ruh is the word of the prophet, which has come from the heavens. The food of the ruh are the good deeds that you perform in this world, which have been ordained from the heavens. So, and he said, remember, happiness and satisfaction are not part of the body, they are part of your soul. And that's when I absolutely broke. And I felt as if there was no strength in my legs, and I just fell on my knees and I just held my head like this and I said, I don't talk about Allah or God or this. There's no Allah and God in my life. There's no prophet. There's no good deed. Everything is about me. How can I be happy? My house, my children, my wealth. That's the kind of life I lead. He says, that's what I mean. So when the spirit screams, your mind goes berserk. Give your spirit its food. That's when I seriously then started reading the Quran, which is my book, and trying to find out what my Creator wants from me. And then the horizons started opening slowly and gradually and slowly and gradually. And a little boy, who just, son of an Air Force officer, a fighter pilot, started thinking about, I started worrying about, different things in life, and the horizons opened up, and I was like, what the hell was I just doing? And then Allah changed my life. And then I started reading about my prophet. And I started reading about different prophets who came and what all they did, and how they changed the lives of the people. And I realized that they hadn't come here in this world just for nothing. And do you know something, sir? Every prophet was a teacher. Muallim in Arabic language, we call them. They were all teachers. So if any teachers sitting here, remember, you are doing, your responsibility is 10 times more than mine or anybody else, because you are performing the work of a prophet. And that's when I realized that there was more to life than just playing music. And it just carried on and on and on.